Okay, this is part two of the martial arts cults. Um, I'm going to break this down here. There's generally five general categories from which a cult falls into. And bear in mind, when I'm talking about the martial arts cults, they exist in every martial arts organization, in every martial art. There's no exception to it. Just because you practice MMA and cage fighting, it doesn't mean you're not in a martial arts cult. Of course, it doesn't mean you are. I'm just saying. Same with reality-based self-defense. Same with traditional martial arts. You find martial arts cults more in traditional martial arts than you would think, but well, I'll explain this as I'm breaking down the different types of cults. Bear in mind, there's five different types of cults here. You have a religious cult, which is a perversion of an established religion. This is things like Buddha and Jesus Christ and Muhammad and Moses and some other dude that, whatever, just pull a bunch of stuff from different religions and call them all interconnected, or saying that, Jesus Christ and Buddha and whoever were aliens and a giant spaceship is coming to pick us all up. And it's basically a perversion of an established religion. You see this a lot with, and ironically so, you see this a lot with the modern African American culture. You have a lot of people out there claiming to be black Muslims. I'm speaking of black Muslims. I'm not speaking specifically of African Americans who are Muslims. But there's a side point I got to point out with that as well. Primarily that Islam is an Arabic religion. It is deeply rooted in Arabic culture, and therefore for a person to be a Muslim but to be of non-Arab descent, you're kind of not really, it doesn't really fit. You're seen more as a pretty much a puppet, cannon fodder, someone to be kicked around in the status of being a Muslim. That said, when I'm speaking of the black Muslims, I'm speaking of the cult, which established itself in the 60s, 70s, which is pretty much a militant black separationist cult, which believed that African Americans were that Africans were the first established society, which is true. However, they believed that they were some sort of divine creations who obtained some type of futuristic technology and left the planet and exist as a mother wheel orbiting the Earth in some giant flying saucer. As an example, the cult of Hassan would be another example. Take it however you want. You also have commercial cults. These are cults which teach success without hard work via some secret philosophy for getting rich quick. You see the commercial cult mentality a lot with reality-based martial arts and the self-defense instructors who teach a few quick, sudden, this is a bunch of quick stuff to learn in a hurry, and therefore you are trained to be a martial artist because you've learned to strike vital areas of the body, and they don't really focus on continuing that conditioning process. They just give you, here's the quick and easy stuff to it. You're suddenly granted the secret of being able to hit a person because you know how to, deliver a knife hand strike to the carotid artery along the side of the neck. You can therefore, or punch someone in the throat, or poke them in the throat, or in the eyes, or whatever. You are somehow now some magical death-dealing super machine who can fight anyone because you know these secret pressure points and stuff. And the reality is that to apply these pressure points, you have to have a certain amount of strength to be able to actually cause physical shock, trauma to that area. And you have to have a certain type of speed so that person can't block those strikes. So, you have to be able to hit them with enough speed and power to actually induce damage. Then you also have the third on our list, the psychotherapy cults. These are cults which promise self-fulfillment with some sort of quasi-political philosophy, which operates without religion or spirituality. The psychotherapy cults are the ones that teach you about your inner whatever, getting in touch with your inner child or your inner nature or whatever, and basically taking on some sort of political, ideological mindset. Usually there's quasi-political, quasi-religious, and they lean more towards being the liberal, do-as-you-want type of mentality. Then, of course, you have the occultist type of cults. These are the cults which promise supernatural powers and secret doctrine via some quasi-religious philosophy. This includes things like Satanism, Wicca, various other mentalities which teach you spells and rituals to focus your mind and to achieve what you want, and they're going to teach you to summon spirits and have a spirit guide and so on and so forth. Then you have a combination. Combination cults or mixed cults. And mixed cults have different mentalities mixed from the other four. For example, most martial arts cults you would find associated with, let's say, mixed martial arts or competition martial arts. These happen to be a combination of the psychotherapy cults and the commercial cults. They're not so much big on the secret methods to find success, but they do promise success. If you study their methods, you will be successful and be able to beat anyone because it's been proven in the ring, and they usually imply some sort of promise of self-fulfillment, many times talking about finding, commonly quoted from Ayn Rand, that you're talking about, finding some sort of quasi-spiritual fulfillment or whatever through the expanse of competition and making competition sportsmanship to be out something more than what it is, both physical and spiritual. It can be for some people, but it doesn't work for all people. When you look at the self-defense based or the reality-based self-defense, however you want to put it, either way it's self-defense. It's a quick crash course in martial arts. When you look at the self-defense based cults, they're a mix of the commercial quick fix secret method and either the psychotherapy or in fact the occultist view of you gain some sort of secret special knowledge, which therefore allows you to be successful, and they teach you some sort of quasi-political mindset of do-it-yourself, such as some quasi-survivalist BS. Then of course you have the traditional based martial arts cults, and this is where you see the biggest majority of your martial arts cults coming from. And the biggest majority of these martial arts cults, the traditional ones in fact, they use this, they're somewhere between the occultist, the religious, in nature. Some of them have some of the commercialist mixed in with it. They rely on the tradition, and they pervert the idea of a tradition or a lineage into being something that's not, as if somehow being part of some lineage passes on to you some secret great knowledge which no one else has, and therefore will make you an instant badass because someone 100 years ago was a badass. They try to pass on some sort of, I guess you would say, like some sort of supernatural energy from the great patriarch who was Miyamoto Musashi or Bruce Lee, or pick whoever you want, some great ninja master or whatever from the past who will somehow pass on his secret abilities to you because he was some great uber badass in the past. And they basically pervert the idea of lineage to mean something other than showing a direct traceable line from one master to another, as if somehow it will not be adapted to modern situations, that somehow the only way to do so is along these lines from this person. This is the only true way there is. And again, you have to bear in mind, martial arts cults exist because people have a need to feel special. They have a need to believe that what they are learning has value. They have a need to believe that there's some secret doctrine out there which will make them successful and great martial artists. And it's all a way of getting around the fact that there's no secret out there. The only secret is that there is no secret. It's just hard work, a lot of training, and a lot of believing in yourself even when no one else seems to.